Do you want to be a better husband? A lot of guys wonder, how can I be a better husband? Or do I need to be a better husband? Hey, I'm paying the bills, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm a good husband. But are you? How do you know? And the question comes from the fact of, do you know how you're trying to get better? Because a lot of guys say they're a good husband, but they're not trying to get better. And what you want to do as a man is become a better husband. And there's 3 ways to do it, and we're going to talk about it today. All right, I was not the brightest bulb when I got married. I really wasn't. And I admit that honestly. My boss at the time was a prankster. And he knew that I was a gullible guy. I believed everybody. And he goes, hey, let's take a picture of you and your father-in-law with handcuffs on. That'd be a great picture. And me, being the type person I was like, okay, that'd be great. And there was something in the back of my brain going, ding, 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 don't do it, don't do it. But I was like, no, it'll be funny. Because he was really trying to convince me. And my father-in-law, who was smarter than me, goes, I don't know about that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, it'll be fun. Talked him into it. So we did it. As soon as the picture was taken, my boss runs away with the keys. Yes, of course he did. Everybody knew he was going to do it, but this guy. That's why I was not the brightest bulb. And so it was one of those things. I was angry, I was mad, but I just wasn't that smart when I first got married. And that's just how I was. But I learned later that I could get better. You see, I wanted to be a good husband. I really did, but I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know how to be a man. And so I had to work and I had to grow and I had to read books and I had to do counseling and do all this stuff. And it paid off. Because my wife and I's marriage lasted 28 years. And I want to give you some tips to help you be a better husband. All right, the first tip to be a better husband is to understand your growth matters. How you grow as a man really does affect every area of your life. And what you have to do as a man is keep growing. And no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to make you grow. No one's going to force you to do it. You have to keep developing yourself. Now understand, when I say grow, a lot of us grow naturally outward by eating too much. But I'm talking about developing yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All of those things happen on purpose. And you have to understand that as a man, the way you grow affects your relationships and especially your marriage. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be all about you and be perfect and do things like that. It's not all about you, but if you don't take care of you, you won't have anything to give to your wife or to your family. So, gentlemen, what you have to do is work on growing yourself. It means you find those areas you need to grow in and grow. It means you get coaching. It means you get help. Anything you have to do to grow will make you a better man and will make you a better husband. All right, the second area to help you be a better husband is to understand that your friendships really matter. They really do. Men need other men who are their close friends. Do you have close friends? I don't mean do you have acquaintances. I don't mean do you have people you're working with. I'm talking about guys you could call in the middle of the night and say, hey, I need you, and they would be there. Stephen Mansfield, a great author, calls it a band of brothers. And the way he defines it is interesting. He talks about it being men who do life together. They're not apart from each other. They may live apart, but they do life together. They connect regularly. They do things to build a friendship. You see, and it's a lot harder today for men to do that because we have a lot of acquaintances. We have a lot of people we connect with, but we're not really close to. And men are finding themselves feeling lonely and not knowing why. And it's because they don't have close friends. They don't have the brothers they're going through war with. Because sometimes life is like a war, and you need those people who are right beside you. And that's those guys. And those are the guys that your wife could call if you're being stupid, if you're being kind of a jerk, if you're starting to treat her bad or treat the kids bad. Your wife needs to know, who can I call? Who's a man who could get a hold of my husband and help him? You see, you need men who push you to grow. You don't need men who bring you down. A lot of us have friends, and maybe those friends aren't the best for us. Maybe they don't help us. Maybe they don't pour into us. Maybe they try to keep us from growing. You need to find some new friends because your friendships matter. Okay, the third area to understand to be a better husband is your wife's friends matter. You see, your wife needs those opportunities to have friends herself, and she really needs opportunities to grow herself. Are you helping your wife grow? Are you helping her? I'm not saying you're her coach, but are you encouraging her to grow? Are you giving her time to grow? Are you investing in her so she can grow? Are you giving her time for her relationships? Are you helping her build a band of sisters? You see, as a man, you've got to understand that you're the one who can help your wife grow, or you can hold her back. And you want to be a motivating force. You want to be someone who encourages her to grow. Yes, go spend time with them. Yes, go do this. Yes, I'll pay for that. Because when you do that, you're actually investing in your own marriage. And she's going to love you even more for it. You don't do it to get something. Be careful of that. But you do it because you really genuinely want her to grow. I remember sending my wife on women's conferences. She would go with a bunch of ladies, and it was always kind of a hassle, especially when the kids were little. But you know what? She needed it. She needed to get away. It cost some money and all this, but we did it. She came back from those just feeling so good about life, about herself. And you know, gentlemen, it's a great thing for you to be able to do that for her. So if you want to be a better husband, help your wife to be a better wife. So if you want to be a better husband, help your wife to be a better woman. Guys, your growth is so important as a man. And that's one thing I want to help you do is grow. That's why I created the Confident Man podcast. It's a podcast that's built to empower men like you live your adventure. So check it out on your favorite podcasting platforms, whether it's Apple, Google, Amazon, Pandora, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find the Confident Man podcast. I'd say subscribe to it, listen to it. It'll help you be a better man. Now, earlier I said my marriage lasted 28 years. And you may have said, well, how come he's talking past tense? Well, it's because my wife was diagnosed a few years ago with brain cancer. And we fought a 2.5-year battle with it before she finally ended up going to heaven. And it was a devastating time for me. It was a hard thing to go through, and it's been over 2 years since, but it's still hard today. And the thing that I want you to understand is one of the feelings I didn't have is regret. Now, that doesn't mean I was perfect. I was not a perfect husband. Especially in the beginning, I did a bunch of stupid stuff and I had to work through that, and I had to get help. I got coaching, I got counseling. I had to learn how to be a man. Then I had to learn how to be a husband and then a dad. I wasn't perfect, but you know, I put in a lot of work and I never quit. And guys, you don't want to quit. I want to challenge you. Don't quit. Don't stop. Keep trying to grow. Even if you've made mistakes, even if they've been huge mistakes, you can change. You can have a better time in the future. So don't stop growing. Keep being the man you want to be, because you don't want to live with regret. You don't want to have that regret wash over you. I think you can be a better husband. It starts with you being a better man, but when you do that, you're going to really have a great marriage.